Well, this is your choice of the next company.
Yeah, so this is Haier. So, I mean, I picked this one because it is, in fact, a Chinese company that is the world's largest appliance manufacturer, and I'm talking fridges and washing machines
And
mostly.
heaters, water heaters.
Yes, and air conditioners, and they also do have a mobile phone operation, but it's one of those annoyingly difficult to read companies because the group, which is based in Qingdao, you know, up there between Shanghai and Beijing, is this massive, like, state-owned corporation, and then there's a listed piece of it with a low market cap out in the Hong Kong market. I didn't really understand.
4.9 billion US dollars, PE of 11.6, dividend yield here of 0.9%. And shall we look at the share price graph?
Yeah, and then Lance can start by trying to help us understand what is it that is actually in the Hong Kong listing as compared to the rest of the giant group.
So it really is that consumer electronics household goods part that's in the Hong Kong listed entity, which is those products. Very strong in washing machines, but it's trying to branch out. And what the Hong Kong listing serves to do is use that as a platform for international growth for the company. A little bit of a China nationalist type of approach, let's say, because they're saying let's spread the Chinese brand. Quite renowned for quality, funny enough. And I think what's most notable is they bought GE's consumer business recently for about $5 billion.
Correct.
So their first foray in the main into the US market, they've had their product in the US, but it's been in the sort of lower value. I wouldn't say lower quality, but certainly two brands now that they've approached the US market with.
And Haier is a great brand. You know, it sounds sort of German.
Maybe there was intention in the branding strategy here.
I'm sure.
Are we calling it?
Look,
or do you want
I
to
mean,
spend a little more time? It's a Chinese opportunity, which you don't see often.
Yeah, and you know, the Chinese economy is supposed to be in this transition from too much spending on infrastructure into more consumer-driven stuff. But actually, the demand for appliances in China has been a bit wobbly, and I think maybe a bit of overproduction leading to a little bit of destocking, quite competitive. So
we are talking about brown goods in this context.
Yeah.
Household appliances, etc.
I think something like 50% of the business of the total group is refrigerators, and that's where their roots were in the 1920s, and then it went through the Cultural Revolution, then it came out in the mid-80s as a big player, and then they started internationalizing the brand.
Do you have exposure?
No, not at all.
Why was this one on your radar screen?
Simply because, according to Wikipedia, it is the world's largest appliance manufacturer, and they went and bought GE, which is like, you know, going to the heartland to buy that.
So would you consider putting this in, or is it too difficult to get exposure?
I don't like these Asian conglomerates where you don't really know what you own, and that there's this enormous group behind it, and you can't quite work out what the relationship between the parent company and the underlying entity is.
Yes. I agree with you. I think with the purchase of the US business, they've shown real intent to say, let's put this as a proper business. Because the US market, you have to operate in a very non-opaque way. You have to run it properly. So I think it's a signal to say, let's expand globally in this space and try to own this space.
You know, like when we buy Nike shares or Starbucks shares, you don't find out afterwards that there's a holding company that has 27% of it, or there's a coffee-making subsidiary, or the people that make the soles of the shoes are in something.
What you are actually referring to is that you need transparency. You need to understand the structure of the business, and it goes back to what Warren Buffett always says, don't invest in something that you don't understand.
Yes.
Hot or not, Lance?
I'll take a chance on this one. I'll be hot.
Jesus. He's really killing it today.
Hot or not? You took him by such surprise on that front. Goodness me.
No, that's good. I like it. Now I'm going to go with not hot. Otherwise, I'll really drive the people mad.